Let's say you and 13 of your friends get together to divide up a pizza. But none of you bought it, none of you made it, and none of you even know what's on it. Welcome to the partition of Africa, the most aggressive game of mine in human history. This is the story of how European powers gathered in Berlin in 1884, drank tea, drew lines on a map, and casually divided up an entire continent without asking anyone who actually lived there. Spoiler, it went badly. Okay, let's rewind. Europe in the 1800s was doing what Europe loved to do, colonizing things. The British had India, the French had parts of Southeast Asia, the Spanish were reminiscing about the glory days, and the Germans were just vibing, trying to catch up. But then industrialization kicked into high gear, and suddenly Europe needed raw materials like rubber, palm oil, gold, and ivory, basically everything Africa had in spades. Now, Africa wasn't just an empty space on the map. It was full of powerful kingdoms, empires, and civilizations, like the Zulu, the Ashanti, the Ethiopians, the Hausa states, running their own shows. But did Europe care? Pfft, nope. Europe took one look at the map and said, "Oh, unclaimed land," which was about as accurate as calling a crowded subway train vacant. So the 1880s roll around and things get spicy. Britain is in Egypt, France is hovering over West Africa. Belgium, yes, Belgium, has taken the entire Congo. Germany wants in. Portugal wants to reclaim its ancient coastal forts. Italy's like, "Hey guys, can I play too?" It's basically a real-life version of Risk, but with more monocles and fewer rules. Suddenly, everyone's scrambling for territory, claiming land faster than you claim your seat when boarding a Southwest flight. The chaos is so bad, European powers are stepping on each other's colonial toes. So someone goes, "Maybe we should have a meeting." And then Germany's Chancellor Otto von Bismarck says, "Yeah, let's host a conference in Berlin and invite none of the Africans." Perfect. So in November 1884, the Berlin Conference begins. 14 countries are invited. Spoiler, 0 of them are African. At the table, Britain, France, Germany, Belgium, Portugal, Italy, Spain, and a few other guests who just came for the free snacks. Bismarck opens the meeting, probably like, "Gentlemen, let's bring order to the chaos. Also, we're totally not doing this for selfish reasons." Wink. The goal? To regulate European colonization in Africa. They call it civilizing, but it's really just a polite way of saying, let's rob the place without fighting each other. They come up with a few key rules. First, effective occupation. This means you can't just say you own land. You have to physically occupy it, like with forts, troops, flags, and ideally, a missionary or two. Second, the Congo Free State will be neutral and open to trade, which sounds nice, until you realise that the neutral zone was just King Leopold II's personal murder playground. More on that later. But here's the kicker. They start drawing borders on maps, like kids playing with crayons, but with no knowledge of the people, cultures, or geography on the ground. And somehow that becomes official policy. Now that the rules are in place, Europe turns Africa into an all-you-can-colonise buffet. Britain wants to connect Cairo to Cape Town. Straight line, thank you very much. France is going for the west to east strategy. Dakar to Djibouti. It's like a weird colonial tic-tac-toe game. Germany is new to the empire game, so it grabs random bits. Togo, Cameroon, German Southwest Africa, Namibia, German East Africa, Tanzania. Because why not? Italy takes a shot at Ethiopia and gets absolutely bodied at the Battle of Adwa. Spoiler, Ethiopia wins. Big time. More on that soon. And Belgium? Oh, Belgium goes full Bond villain. King Leopold II gets the Congo Free State and runs it like a personal startup, except instead of a quirky app, it's forced labour, mutilation, and death. It's estimated that 10 million Congolese die during his reign, all for rubber and profit. But Europe's like, shh, he's building infrastructure. Here's the most bonkers part. Africa wasn't just uninvolved in the Berlin Conference, it wasn't even informed. No African leaders were invited, no translators, no observers, nothing. Imagine waking up one day and finding out that 13 strangers had split your house, your car, your family, and your pets into separate rooms with labels. And when you complain, they say, we're just helping you organise. It was peak colonial audacity. Tribes were split, enemies were lumped together, economies were wrecked, and languages? Good luck. Europe basically shuffled the continent like a deck of cards and said, deal with it. By 1900, over 90% of Africa was under European control. The only two exceptions, Liberia, protected by the United States, and Ethiopia, which said nope to Italian colonization and served up one of the most satisfying underdog victories in history. The borders drawn at the Berlin Conference, many of them still exist today. And guess what? They're still causing problems. Civil wars, ethnic conflict, economic instability, because they were never designed to work. They were designed for European convenience. Colonialism didn't just extract resources, it restructured entire societies. It replaced African institutions with European ones, often violently. And when Europe finally left in the mid-20th century, it left chaos behind. Like someone throwing a house party in your living room, trashing the place and leaving you the bill. So let's recap. The Berlin Conference was supposed to civilize Africa. Instead, it turned it into a colonial jigsaw puzzle. It ignored African voices, cultures, and sovereignty. It led to exploitation, violence, and suffering on a continental scale. And all of this started over tea and biscuits in Berlin by a bunch of dudes in suits who'd never seen the land they were dividing. The partition of Africa wasn't just a land grab. It was one of the greatest geopolitical disasters of the modern era. And yet, most history books summarize it in one sentence. Well, not here. Thanks for joining this crash course in colonial chaos. If you enjoyed this slightly unhinged retelling of global injustice, hit that like button, subscribe for more history with a twist, and drop a comment below. If you were at the Berlin Conference, what ridiculous thing would you claim? Until next time, don't divide continents without permission.